So, hello everybody, and welcome to this important, very important series on our Safebach training. Today, we're going to be looking at internal and external issues. We continue our series on training of the requirements of ISO 9001 2015. So, once again, welcome. Let's look at what we have today. Generally, we're going to be looking at an overview of internal and external issues, tools used to determine internal and external issues. So my name is Chinedu Anyao. I am the co-founder of Safebach Company Limited. I have numerous certifications, and more importantly, I'm a lead auditor in ISO 9001 2015. I am also a lead implementer in this same management system. So for those of us who are already aware, you know that ISO 9001 2015 has 10 clauses. Clause 0 to 3 are not auditable clauses, but clause 4 to 10 are auditable clauses, and these clauses are requirements for the management system. So when you look at clause 4 down to clause 10, these are compulsory requirements that organizations have to meet for them to be certified to ISO 9001 2015 quality management system. So previously we have looked at one of the sub clauses of clause 4, which was how to manage interested parties. If you missed that training, you simply send us an email, and then we are going to share with you the link to that training. So today we're looking at a very important topic, which is understanding internal and external issues. Now, the management system clearly states in clause 4.1 that you need to understand the context of the organization. Now, 4.1 is the organization and its context that we're going to look into detail what it says. Now, for the benefit of those who don't understand the quality management system, clause 4 has 4 subclauses: 4.1, 4.2, 4.3, and 4.4. Each of them speaks to different things. 4.1 talks about internal and external issues. And like I said, we have treated needs and expectation of interested parties. So you can request for that clip. And then 4.3 is scope. 4.4 is process and the interactions. And we hope to have our next training on scope and QMS and its processes. Now, what does clause 4.1 of ISO 9001 say? So we're going to just basically read through the requirements of the standard. And it says that the organization shall determine internal and external issues that are relevant to its purpose and its strategic direction that affects its ability to achieve the intended results of its quality management system. Now, what this is simply trying to talk about is that every organization must be able to look at themselves very clearly and say, what will affect us from being able to meet the promises we have made to our customers? Remember very well that ISO 9001 2015 is a customer-based management system and a risk-based management system. The key requirement or the key objective of ISO 9001 2015 is to meet customer satisfaction and to manage risk within organizations. Now, before you make any promises to customers, the management system requires that you sit back as an organization, as a business, and ask yourself, what internal issues, what external issues can affect us from being able to meet these promises we have made to customers? Now, the management system now further says that the organization shall monitor and review information about these internal and external issues. Now, there are notes attached to this standard. It says that issues can include positive and negative factors or conditions for considerations. Understanding the external context can be facilitated by considering issues arising from legal, technological, competitive, market, cultural, social, and economic environment, whether international or national or regional. This simply means these things are outside the organization's control, but they can affect the organization. While internal issues, the management system says, there are issues that relates from value, culture, performance of the organization, and of course, related to resources within the organization's control. Now, with this understanding of clause 4.1, I want us to now dive into understanding how organizations can meet these requirements of ISO 9001 2015 clause 4.1. Now, what are internal issues? Internal issues are factors within the organization that can affect the quality management system. And like I said before, internal issues include organizational management, structure of personnel, infrastructure and equipment, information system, internal policies, procedures and processes, work environment, and employee morale. Now, you need to determine, do I have the adequate internal issues to meet my customers' requirement, or the internal issues within my organization, can they affect me from meeting my customers' requirement? So this is what it means to determine internal issues. External issues, on the other hand, are factors outside the organization that could influence its ability to deliver quality products and services. It is not in the control of the organization, but it can influence the ability of the organization. Examples of this include economic conditions, inflation, recessions, regulatory and legal requirements, technological changes, market trends, competitions, political climates, environmental conditions, and social and of course demographic shifts. These are outside the organization's control. Now, why is it important to understand this thing? Identifying both internal and external issues is very important for every organization to succeed. Now, internal issues can affect organizations' efficiency and effectiveness and overall performance, while external issues can affect the organization's competitiveness, growth, sustainability. Therefore, understanding internal and external issues helps an organization to align their quality management system with their strategic direction, to identify risk and opportunities and stay compliant with the requirements of ISO 9001, and also helps for continual improvement. Remember, for you to be certified to ISO 9001, you must meet all the requirements of clause 4 to clause 10. Now, what are the importance of internal and external issues? Understanding internal and external issues helps organizations to first and foremost align your quality management system and your strategic direction. Now, every business have a strategic direction, an area they want to go, what they want to achieve at the beginning of the year, and even in the long time. Now, by determining your internal issues that can affect an organization or external issues that can influence an organization, the organization will be able to align your quality management system with this strategic direction by identifying what can help you, what can affect you, what can, make you or break you. You should be able to know how you will be able to flow or key into your strategic direction. Now, also identifying internal and external issues helps you to identify risk and opportunities. Let's look at it this way. When you identify internal issues, you should ask yourself questions like, how can this affect us? You are already doing a risk analysis. And then you should need to ask yourself questions like, what can I do to improve these things I have identified? You're already looking for opportunities. Let's take, for instance, that while determining your internal and external issues, you discovered that you do not have the adequate competence to meet customers' requirements. Then what you need to do is identify, what can this cost me? Can having poor or inadequate competence cost us anything? You are doing a risk analysis. If yes, how can we improve on these competencies, you are creating an opportunity for improvement. Now, internal and external issues also help us stay compliant with the requirements of ISO 9001 2015. Now, if you do not determine your internal and external issues, you will not be certified to ISO 9001. And finally, it helps for continual improvement. As it's always said, what cannot be measured cannot be improved. If you cannot determine your internal and external issues, you may not be able to improve on these things that have the ability to affect you from achieving your quality management system intentions. Now, let us look at the tools used to determine internal and external issues. One of the most popular of them is what we refer to as the SWOT document. And by the SWOT document, we refer to strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats. Now, this is the most common of it by most organizations because it's very simple to use tool, and even individuals can also use this tool to help determine their own internal and external issues that can affect them. So by using a simple SWOT document, you ask yourself as a business, what are my strengths? What are the business strengths? What are those personal business strengths that can help us? What are our weaknesses? What are those personal weaknesses that can affect us? What are our opportunities? What are those external things we can bring in? Are there people, resources, trainings that we can bring into the business to improve our business? Then you ask yourself questions like, what are our threats? What are those things that can create an obstacle that can change drastically and affect how we do things? Now, for us, we know that sometimes regulations can change and it can drastically affect a particular business in one way or the other. Let's say, for instance, you are into, packaging of food, and then suddenly the government bans the use of single-use plastics, and that is what you rely on. You understand that that becomes a very serious threat because it can affect your business. So you must understand your strengths, what makes you special, what makes you able to meet your promises to your customers. What are your weaknesses? What are those things that can't help you? What are the opportunities you have that you can leverage on and improve? And what are those things that can affect you that you don't have control over? Those threats could mean anything ranging from competition and the rest of them. So again, strengths, I've described them, and weakness is also what stop an organization from performing at this optimal level. There are areas where the business needs to improve to remain competitive. High level of debt, lean manpower, lack of funds. These are some of the weaknesses. Now you can see from these that strengths and weakness are internal issues. When you're using the SWOTs to determine your internal and external issues, strengths and weaknesses are internal issues, why opportunities and threats are external issues. And because I've defined and explained extensively about these things, I will want to continue. Now, what organizations can simply do is to have a simple SWOT document like this, identifying their strengths, identifying their weaknesses, identifying their opportunities, and identifying their threats. Now, another tool that organizations can use to determine their internal and external issues is a tool we refer to as the PESTEL. The PESTEL document is, the PESTEL tool rather, is simply a tool that is used to determine key factors that can impact an organization. Now, PESTEL is an abbreviation for political, economic, social, technological, environmental, and legal. Now, when you look at these areas, you will be able to understand that you would have been able to determine internal and external issues holistically. A simple PESTEL document will simply mean you listing down, for instance, what are the political issues, government policies, regulations, trade restrictions, stability, tax policies. All these falls under political issues. Then you ask yourself questions on the E. What are the economic issues? Inflations, interest rate, exchange rate, economic growth, consumers, spending. These are economic issues. If you are into a business that is heavily FX dependent, you understand that changes in exchange rates can be a big economic factor for you as a business. All right, then, what about social issues? Social issues talk about social demographics, it talks about cultural trends, it talks about population growth. If you are into consumer product, you understand that consumer growth becomes a very, very important thing that you need to consider. Population growth becomes a very, very important thing that you need to consider. People's lifestyle, how are they going to impact on your business, that you need to begin to consider all those things. Then the next thing you need to consider is the T, which is technological innovation, changes. Now, the story is very common about how Kodak lost his markets value, his market share. We all know the story of how there was change. You know, a worker for Kodak came and told them about the digital camera. He just discovered the digital camera, and Kodak was unwilling to change because Kodak was making a lot of money from films, and the worker took these same innovations and went to Samsung, and Samsung adopted the digital camera. And before you know it, digital camera took away films out of the business, and that's how Kodak went down. Now, you need to understand changes in technological advancement, how it's going to affect your business. So if you're using a business, if you're running a business that is tech driven, ask questions on how can tech changes affect you. Remember those days people used to buy recharge cards from the streets, but these days everyone can go simply on their phones and recharge their phones. What about environmental issues? One of the key greatest environmental issues right now is climate change, rather. Climate change is a big issue. What about sustainability? Sustainability is a hugely discussed topic. Any business that do not consider sustainability presently doesn't intend to last long in business. That's just a simple and sad truth. So you must begin to consider sustainability related issues, environmental regulations. And now there has been a serious crackdown and a serious enforcement on the issues around carbon emissions, carbon footprint. Any sensible business will begin now to track their sustainability progress. What about you? What are you doing about your sustainability progress? And so if you need help about sustainability, you just can send us an email or visit our website at www.safebach.com, and we will be able to guide you on that progress. Now let's look at legal and laws like health and safety issues, consumer protection, labor laws. These things are legal issues that can affect you as an organization. So you must consider them. So by the time you have listed your P, your E, your S, your T, your E, and your L, you have determined your pestle. You have used pestle as a tool to determine your internal and external issues. Because if you look at this very well, you will see that by the time you discover or write down these 6 things, you must have completely identified all your internal and external issues. So pestle is a very beautiful tool for determining internal and external issues. The next thing we need to look at is what we refer to as the 5 forces. I won't talk much about 5 forces. If you want to know more about them, you can get in touch with us. Another thing is the use of benchmarking. Benchmarking is simply comparing yourself with other people in the same business with you. Another thing is internal audits, auditing your system, check the effectiveness of your processes, procedures, and determine areas of weaknesses and areas of strength. And then shareholder analysis is another tool people use to determine their internal and external issues. Now, in conclusion, I want to state that understanding internal and external issues is a key requirement of ISO 9001:2015 and is essential for aligning the quality management system with the organization's strategic direction. Now, if you identify and analyze these, your internal and external issues, as an organization, you can better manage your risk, seize and take advantage of opportunities, and ensure consistent delivery of quality products and services. After all, you are in business to deliver quality products and services that will satisfy your customers, you must learn to identify your internal and external issues. And then what you must do is that you will consistently review these internal and external issues to make sure you remain relevant. Remember, internal and external issues changes over time. So it is important to review them to be sure that they have not changed. And this will help you improve performance and support continual improvement. So that is all about understanding internal and external issues. And now, if you want to know more, you can simply visit our website at www.safebach.com or send us an email at safebach@gmail.com. Now, we as an organization do a lot that you want to do. We carry out trainings, we carry out management system certification, and we do a whole lot that you want to see when you visit our website. So thank you for your time once again for attending this growth series on Safebach Company Limited for the month of April. For further information, please visit our website, like I said, and then feel free to call us and engage us. And I guarantee you that we are your best hands when it comes to management system certification because we understand it. We have a team of internal auditors, a team of lead auditors, and a team of implementers that can make sure that you will get the best of services. Thank you very much from all of us at Safebach. See you next time for more of our exciting videos on internal and external issues, and of course, on quality management system in general. Bye-bye.